Somehow is muted. Shalom. Can you hear me now? What about now? Shalom. Shalom. Somehow the microphone. I hear myself now. Y'all should be able to hear me now. What about? Somehow the microphone got muted. Y'all should be able to hear me now. Let me know if that's better. Okay, Most High in Christ, the water, sis. Okay, there we go. What about Instagram? Okay, y'all able to hear me? All right, there we go. Good. Okay. All right, Most High in Christ. We all in here. All right. Y'all Shim Shabrakatah. Y'all Shemala Thashim Yawashad. The water, Most High in Christ. All right, we up. All right. So, the Lord set things up. You understand? The Lord set things up in a beautiful way. And whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, what is going on in Ukraine is setting the world back in its proper order. The Bible says that the whole world lies in the sway of the wicked one. And it's so many things that the devil has done that has destroyed the very essence and nature of how life was set up by the Most High. And what we are doing and what we fight to do in the Isupk is to fix and repair the damage that has been done, not only to our people, but the damage that has been done to the entire world by this oppressor. Many people know and hear a lot of times, if you're watching for the first time in one of our Isupk classes, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We started out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, and since 1969, we have been teaching the truth about the Bible, bringing out the prophecies in the Bible, you understand, that have been sealed away for many, many centuries, you understand, that have been sealed away, that are unbeknown to our people, just like this invasion that Russia's doing to Ukraine, all of the wars in the Middle East, war finally coming back to Europe. War has not been in Europe for quite some time. It is finally coming back to Europe. You understand? And the Lord has it done that way for a reason. The Lord has war being brought back to the land where no land belongs to our oppressor. We're going to get into tonight talking about the devil and how he has destroyed everything. A lot of times you may have heard us saying that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. But many times you may have not been taught why that is actually prevalent, why it is relevant to say it, and why the Isupk has been saying it, and why it is so very important to bringing about the kingdom of Christ. You understand? So where we want to start? We want to start in Genesis. We want to start in Genesis, the 25th chapter. You understand? Y'all muscle it up, make it into these classes, make it into these Isupk classes, sign your name, city and state for attendance. It is very important. I guess it's very important that you be signed in. Now is the time you want to make sure that you are being accounted for. You want to make sure that you are here and present, just as though it was time to come about for you to get your degree. Hey, shalom, sis, y'all, shemalatha, shim y'all shah. To get your degree, to get your graduation, you understand? Now it is time. It's already been time, but it is high time for you to start to see the benefits of serving the Most High and how the rest of the people who thought that they were serving the Lord are going to find out that they do not have the benefits of the Lord's protection. Very basic things that you will learn in just one class coming into the Isupk. Very basic things that you learn within probably the first 10 or 15 minutes of any Isupk class. The vast majority of the world of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans do not understand these very life and death concepts that the Lord has laid down, that you, of course, have been taught by the prophets, because you have humbled yourself to come to class where the Lord assigned for this nation. You understand? So we're going to start in Genesis, the 25th chapter. The nature of our oppressor is a very important thing to learn. And it's a very important thing to learn, because as their empire falls, their true colors are going to start to show. Their true spirit. Donald Trump being elected to office was just the tip of the iceberg for you to start to see who the devil really is. You understand? What Donald Trump did was so very important prophetically, and it's so very important spiritually, that forced our people to wake up from this fairy tale that we have been living in, thinking that we are a part of our oppressive society. And the purpose is to force us more to build up our own society, to build up the world that Christ died for, to build up the kingdom of Christ, the kingdom of heaven, which we work tirelessly to do in the Isupk. That is filled with the counseling, the protection, the leadership, the governing body, the military, and most importantly, following the prophet that the Lord deals with to lead the nation. That is a very important thing. It may not seem that important yet, but it is getting ready to start costing people their lives in a way that it has not cost people their lives before. You understand? So let's get here. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about our oppressor, talk about, you understand, that's what we're going to start off. As a matter of fact, we are going to go to Genesis, the 4th chapter. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 4. Of course, y'all got any questions, go ahead and type them in while I get these scriptures ready, pulled up. We're going to go to Genesis 4th chapter. Same on Instagram. If you're on Twitter, you got any questions, you're on Twitch or Tumblr, you got any questions, type your questions in. Hey, Shalom, warrior. Y'all, Shalom, sis, Lord of Christ. All right, Genesis, the 4th chapter, and we are going to start with Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1. All right, we're going to get it on. Everybody, make sure y'all hit the thumbs up button. You watching on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. Those things are very important so that the algorithm can tell more brothers and sisters in Virginia and everywhere else across the world that they need to be in these Isupk classes before the war that's going on in Russia, that the Lord prophesied in Matthew, the 24th chapter, makes it to where they are. And rest assured, world war is coming. National war is coming. Civil war is coming. Empty grocery stores, worse than COVID, more plagues are coming. Just as Christ said would be leading up to his return, it is very important that you come out of that, whatever is left of that Christian philosophy that is inside of our people, that does not follow orders, that think I'm grown, I can make my own decisions, that believes that things that are in the Bible is not important for you to know because you'll just take it by faith and be covered in the blood of Jesus. All of that silliness is getting ready to get a lot of people killed. Straight up. It's getting ready to get a lot of people killed that was not going to be before, because the times are changing. The times are changing leading up to the return of Christ. The time in which the faith of all the prophets, of which all of the disciples that Christ, that the Lord had set up and rose up in the earth, these are the times that have been prophesied about for many, many generations. For thousands of years, the prophets have prophesied about this time and about our nation coming back together through our many captivities. So don't take it lightly. You in these classes, if you are not slaving, you should be taking notes. You should be asking questions, following along in your scriptures, in the Bible, asking your questions. You understand? Very important time for you to actually know what is in the Bible. Very important. All right. So we're going to start off there. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 4, and we're going to start at verse 1. Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1. All right. Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1. So Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1 says, and Adam knew his wife, and Adam knew Eve, his wife. When it says knew, a lot of times in the Bible, knew is old Quaker English, is ancient biblical terms. When it talks about knowing a woman, this means that Adam had sex with his wife. That's how you become a wife. You have sex with your woman. that makes you a wife. A man cannot be a wife. A woman cannot be a husband. All of this foolishness that our oppressor has created or that has promoted in the earth, because he didn't create it. Nothing created comes from our oppressors. You understand? Nothing but how to kill and destroy. Everything else on the earth they have stolen from some other people's culture. All right? We're going to get to that question a little bit later on. Just remind me, Trooper Doc. All right? So Genesis 4:1 says, and Adam knew his wife, and she conceived. That's how you know what it's talking about. Hey, Shalom, brother in Baltimore. Just make sure. All right, we got you for attendance. But it says Adam knew his wife. That's how you become a wife. You have sex. Sex makes you a wife. You lay down, you have sex with a man, you are his wife. That's until one of you die, and you cannot kill each other. You understand? That's permanent. You are not allowed to have sex with somebody else's wife. You understand? That's against the Most High. So when it says Adam knew his wife, and remember, every time you see the words if, and but, some of the most important words in the entire Bible. And because Adam had sex with his wife and she conceived, she got pregnant. This is how you know what this no is talking about. He did something. Something happened because of the action that he took. Adam had sex with his wife and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. You understand? She didn't say, I made this baby. I'm Mother Queen Earth, the blessed sacred womb of all vaginas of the planet. She didn't say that nonsense. It wasn't until the serpent came and beguiled Eve in the following chapter that all of that diva be like a god nonsense came about. And shortly after that, we ended up getting evicted from the Garden of Eden. And now we work 15-hour days and sit in traffic for 3 damn hours. You understand? So Genesis chapter 4:1, she said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. It may seem like a small thing, but remember, all of the words in the scripture are important. The Lord appointed a man to her. Adam had sex with Eve, but the Lord put a man inside of her. The Lord fashioned and made that baby. The Lord decided that this was going to be a man. Adam didn't decide. Eve did not decide. You understand? Even though you had sex to make the baby, the Lord put that baby and a spirit inside of them that is supposed to grow and be nurtured inside of that mother. The Lord did it upon your request, which is the sex. All right. So let's get some more. And she bare and she again bare his brother Abel. They had to have sex to make some more kids. She had Abel. Abel was a keeper of sheep. For those of you that know, anybody familiar with the Bible, the Jews, our custom, we always kept sheep. We kept sheep. We were herdsmen. We worked in the fields, the flocks. We did construction, agriculture. That is why when our oppressor gained access to Africa, it was very easy for the Africans to tell the Europeans where we were. We were a completely different class of people, even though we were dark-skinned just like the so-called Africans. We were completely different, and we outclassed them in every way just like we do today. Even still, while we are destroyed and in captivity without our identity scattered all across the world, we still outclass every nation of people to this day. All of the inventions and things we created because we disobey the Most High and because we don't know that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, we take other nations' customs and it allows them to exploit and prey on our people. All right? So, Genesis chapter 4 and verse 2. But, remember, every time you see if, and, or but, those are very important words in the scripture. But Cain was a tiller of the ground. He was a groundskeeper. He was a tiller of the ground. He worked in the field. He didn't work with the sheep. One brother did sheep work. One brother tilled the ground. Whatever's in the ground. You got flowers. You got vegetables. Just understand that it is not sheep. All right? And now it says in verse 3, and in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. Now verse 4 says, and Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. Now, why did Cain and Abel bring offerings to the Lord? Why did they do that? We got a good amount of brothers and sisters in here. Y'all type in. Why did they do that? Why did he bring an offering to the Most High? All right. Y'all give it a shot. Give y'all a few moments. Go ahead, type in. Why did he do that to the Most High? Why would he bring an offering? Who want to give it a shot? Nobody knows. Remember, we in Genesis. We in Genesis, the 4th chapter. All right. He brought an offering. He brought an offering. All right. Let's see. To thank the Most High. All right. To thank the Most High. I'll take that answer. That's a good answer. Now, if he brought a peace offering, okay, I'll take that. Good answers. Good answers. He brought a peace offering. All right. Let's get this. He brought an offering. All right. Now, he just brought an offering to thank the Most High. Let's read a little bit more. All right. Those are good answers. I'll take that. I like those. All right. A peace offering. Okay. A peace offering to thank the Most High. Now, let's read a little bit more. All right. It says, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and his offering. Meaning the Lord respected Abel's offering. Verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect. Now, this is something very important that I want everybody to notice. I want to see who's paying attention, and I want you to start to see things spiritually, to get the spirit as to what is going to later become our oppressor. All right? Where we at? This is the spirit. Now, why did the Lord have respect? If they were both thanking the Most High, right? That's what everybody said. Why did the Lord have respect to Abel's offering, but not to Cain's offering? All right. You might need to know something about the laws. All right. Why did the Lord have respect to one offering and not the other? They were both just saying thank you. One is thankful to the Lord for the, for the crops of the ground, for what he does. The other one is thankful to the Lord. Everybody is thankful to God in their own way. That's what the Christians say. Ain't that right, Kaya? Young man Stephen, young man in here, Trooper Kodak. That's what the Christians say. I know, ain't that what they say, Amawana? We all thankful and serve God in our own way. It says Cain did not give his best. No, the scripture doesn't necessarily say Cain gave his best. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Good shot. Here is something very important that our oppressor, as we progress in the class, you are going to see why the spirit of this oppressor is so dangerous. Cain offering wasn't an animal, sir. That's right, because Abel gave his best sheep to the Most High. Well, Abel works with sheep. So Abel works with sheep, right? But what does Cain do? Cain doesn't work with sheep. Cain is a tiller of the ground. So suppose Cain did not have sheep. All he had was the fruit of the ground, because that's what he worked for, right? He made an offering, right? Hold that. We're going to go to Numbers. We're going to go to Numbers, the 29th chapter. All right? We're going to go to Numbers, the 29th chapter. Y'all. 29th chapter. All right. 29th chapter. We're going to go to Numbers chapter 29 and verse offering of the month is meat offering. Take me to verse 2, 29 and 2. Everybody just make sure y'all click this link for the attendance. Just click it and sign in for attendance. It goes right to the attendance sheet. Y'all see that up in the chat. Everybody just make sure you click it. You're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're on Twitch, you're on Facebook. Wherever you're watching the class, make sure you just click the link. It'll take you straight there. Fill it out very briefly. We get you locked in. All right? The water. Now, Numbers chapter 25, so like at 29 and verse 2. Give me Trooper Kradak. Give me Numbers 29 and 2. Bubba Kashaw.
Come.
All right.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 29, verse 2.
All right.
And ye shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord.
Meaning there's a burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord. Meaning there's something that you do for yourself. Remember, all of the words in the Bible are important. And it's very important to start to train your mind. The Christian church and our oppressive educational system does a switch. The first few, maybe 6 or 7, 8, 9 years that you were in school, they teach you something called basic reading comprehension. And as you get older, they run the game on you, especially the Christian church, to where you start to ignore things that you see because the Bible is not something that you're going to actually learn. It is something that you're biding your time and have as attached the Bible to Christianity to church. And the church and the Bible are not connected. Christianity and the Bible, they are not connected. Christianity and church has nothing to do with the Bible and God and Jesus. They have nothing to do with each other at all. You understand? So when you see these things, I want you to train your mind, brothers and sisters. I want y'all to train your mind to pay attention to the words. That's why when you break down the scriptures, the words that's actually written there are important. You understand? It says a sweet savor. Read that again from sweet savor.
Come. For a sweet savor unto the Lord.
Unto who?
Unto the Lord.
Unto the Lord. That means that this is not just what you are deciding to give to the Most High. This is not you giving God, I gave God my best and I serve God my own way. Your own way is not what God requires. God requires what he said that's for him unto the Lord. The Lord does not accept any and everything that we have been taught to believe. Whatever our best is, the Lord just approves of it. The Lord does not accept whatever, Big Mama or pastor or the mosque, whatever anybody assumes is their best. Cain gave what he thought was acceptable to the Lord. Keep reading.
Come. One young bullock.
One young bullock. Keep going. A young bullock. Keep going.
One ram.
One ram. You got a ram. A ram is in the deer family. You got a young bullock, a young bull, an ox, a calf, and then a deer. All right, keep going.
And 7 lambs of the first year without blemish.
7 lambs of the first year without blemish. These things are very specific. You understand? This is what is unto the Lord. That's why it says those words in the scripture. This is not what you decide. This is not what I decide. This is not what I like. This is not what I can spare. This is not what you have left over. This is not what you worked on. Though you may have an emotional attachment to what you feel is acceptable from you to give to the Lord has what he requires. And what we have been taught to think because of the Christian church, Shalom, brother, about the Most High is not actually how God is in the Bible. Cain felt he could give God what he thought was acceptable. Abel gave the Most High what the Lord actually said to give it. Keep reading.
And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil.
Flour mingled with oil. You understand the measurements and different things there. All right. And then you got specific offerings. You got a goat offering. You got the lamb offering. You got the young bullock offering. Skip me down to verse 6.
Come.
Nice and loud.
Beside the burnt offering of the month.
So you got burnt offerings of the month. What are the burnt offerings that the Lord accepts? Is in the previous scriptures right above. You understand? Keep going.
And his meat offering.
And his meat offering. This is what the Lord requires, a meat offering. Keep going.
And the daily burnt offering.
The daily burnt offerings. Keep going.
And his meat offering.
And again, remember, it seems like it may not be important. The fact that it is written in the Bible multiple times. It is not a typo. It is not there just for the sake of it. The Bible is written to, for, and about so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And if you want these people to do anything that you say, you are going to have to tell them 1,000 times. At the beginning, at the middle, 2 verses up, 2 verses down. And half the time, they are still not going to do what you said. You understand? It's written in there for a purpose so that you can understand in your mind, this is what the Lord requires. That's why I keep saying, and a meat offering, and this meat offering, and a meat offering, so that you can thoroughly understand the Lord does not want you to have to guess. The Christian church is trying to trick you because they run in all kind of games and lies and schemes and scams and trying to have sex with your kids, trying to have sex with your woman, trying to steal your grandmama's house, all kind of games and stuff. We ain't playing games in here. You understand? This ain't about popularity or friendship. You come to serve the Lord. Be prepared for your whole family to turn on you. Wife, kids, husband included. That's serving the Lord. You understand? Christ said, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. This ain't about popularity. People are not saying the things that you've heard the Isupk say for decades because they all of a sudden like what we're saying. They're saying it because the Lord didn't put it in their face so much that they can't ignore it anymore. You understand? This ain't about getting friends. This ain't a friendship job. You understand? So let's get some more. Keep going.
And their drink offerings.
And their drink offerings. So like, I just wanted to highlight that. Their drink offerings. There is a drink offering. When we do the Sabbath services, we have wine. Certain drink offerings that the Lord has that he requires. That's why when we drink in the Sabbath service, La Yasha Allah, you see the priest drink the wine, blow the ram's horn. These things are what the Lord requires. That's why we show you in the scriptures. You can go and read for yourself. This is always what the Lord requires. In Moses' time, what was already taught to Adam from the Most High that we went over last week with the breath of life, being the law, statutes, and commandments, those precepts you can get from last week's class, that is what he taught Adam. That is why Adam's sons knew to bring an offering to the Most High. And they also knew exactly what kind of offering that they were supposed to bring to the Most High, which is why we're going here to show you in the law, because Adam already had the law. Moses wrote the law down that it was given to him 40 days and 40 nights after he killed the Egyptian, and the Lord sent him back to Egypt with a message and power to free the children of Israel. That's why we celebrate the Passover every year. Pharaoh was not going to let us go until the Lord started killing the Egyptians. That's how you get free from slavery. You don't get free with a vote. You don't get free with a democratic election. You don't get free with economic sanctions. That's not how you get free. We're not getting free with us fighting against them. We're going to get free with serving the Lord, and the Lord is going to send the armies of heaven to wipe them out. That's how we get freedom. All right? So, these are the offering. Read from drink offering.
Con. And their drink offering,
Uh-huh.
according unto their manner.
According unto their manner. Manner means a specific way. The Lord has a specific way that you have to do things if it is for him. You cannot do things however you want and expect the Lord to be with you. That's what the Christian church does not understand. That's what the mosque and everybody else who picks up the Bible that think that they can interpret and do things with, to, for, and about the Bible their own way. That's what fake Israelite groups don't understand. You cannot do what you want your own way. You understand? That's why Christ had to explain in John 10, the 10th chapter. If you go any other way, you are a thief and a robber. You understand? There is not many different paths to salvation. And the start, that's why we're going over this oppressor in the Bible. All right? And their offerings, keep going.
For a sweet savor.
Uh-huh.
A sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord.
Sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. So this is what the Lord requires. There's a time to bring the first fruits of your harvest, of the sheaf, of the wave offerings. There's a time and a place. You understand? Many different offerings in different seasons the Lord have. This is what the Lord requires. So now let's go back to Genesis, the 4th chapter. All right. Shalom, Jersey. All right. Genesis, the 4th chapter. All right. So we're going to go back to Genesis chapter 4 and verse 4. All right. Abel kept sheep. Cain kept the fruit of the ground. The fruit of the ground, what the ground produces, your vegetables, anything that grows out of the ground. And it says he bought the firstlings of his flock, meaning there's a specific reason. There are different types of offering. You got a peace offering, you got a sin offering, you got a free will offering, and then you got bringing the first of your flock. That's a specific type of thing. So if one brother is bringing the firstlings of your flock, this is a specific type of offering. That's why it says, and it came to pass. This is a specific time. It doesn't specify which it is, but there's a reason Abel is bringing the firstlings of his flock, because he knows this is what the Lord requires. Guess who else also knows what the Lord requires? Who else knows what God requires? Give it a shot. Who else knows? Y'all ain't here, type it in. Give it a shot, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the shares, all that. All right. I know you know, Warrior. All right. Let's give some more. Let's see who else knows. Who else knows what God requires? You understand? Where we at? 44. All right, let's move it along. Cain. Cain knows what the Lord requires. How does he know? Because there's a time to bring the offerings. That's why one brother knew to bring the firstlings of his flock. The other brother brought him what he had, the best that he had to offer. Here's the problem about doing whatever you feel is the best you have to offer. God may not want what you think is the best to offer, because God has laws, statutes, and commandments about what he requires. And what you have to offer does not change what God requires. You understand? Which is a very important thing, a very important concept to learn when dealing with the God of the Bible, because we have learned about every other God except the God of the Bible, who is the God of not getting murdered at a traffic stop or having your Hispanic babies put in dog cages in INS detention centers, or your Native American sons and daughters not all going missing and getting kidnapped from reservations. There's a specific God that is in charge of making sure these things don't happen, and our people do not serve that God. You understand? We serve every other God, which is why we have these problems. And it's imperative that we learn to serve the God of our fathers, especially as he destroys this empire. You understand? So we're reading about the devil, our oppressor that the Bible speaks of. You understand? These so-called white men we getting here in the scriptures. So give me verse 5. Brother Shaw.
Come. Verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect.
Read that one more time. Every time you see the words if, and, or buts, I need you to emphasize those words. They are very important in the scriptures. Read that one more time. It's going to completely change the spirit that the Lord intended when he put those words in the Bible. Hit it one more time, warrior.
But
there you go. Go ahead.
Unto Cain and to his offering he
go
had
ahead.
not respect.
The Lord didn't respect what Cain gave. Keep going.
And Cain was very wroth.
Cain was what?
Very wroth.
Cain was very wroth, meaning he was filled with wrath. He was very angry. Why was Cain very angry? Because he knew what he knew what the Most High required, and he did not give a damn about what the Lord wanted. He did not care about the orders. That father trained them well. That's how he knew he was supposed to bring an offering. He knew our entire nation was not sheep herders. The whole 12 tribes, every single brother and sister did not herd sheep and cattle, but God required an offering of sheep and cattle and bulls and rams. So if you did not raise them yourself, there was still a way and a provision that you had to go and buy them so that you can sacrifice, because that is what the Lord requires. You understand? Cain brought what he felt was acceptable. Abel brought what the Lord required. And Cain was angry because the Lord did not accept any old thing that he thought that God should accept. So keep going.
And his countenance fell.
His countenance fell. He was happy. He thought that what he was doing was good enough. And this is the same spirit that is on our people in that Christian church, thinking that what we are offering to the Lord is acceptable, being completely ignorant of what God actually requires. And when we open the Bible and show our people, this is what the Lord said. A woman cannot be a preacher. You should not be singing to God. God hated them songs since the book of Amos. We are in captivity. America is not our home. God is against interracial marriages. You are not allowed to have a divorce and go and be with another man. You are not allowed to murder your baby because you don't want the responsibility of being a parent. You understand? You're not allowed to murder, whether it's convenient for you or you feel you have a good reason or not. You're not allowed to molest and rape children or men or women or boys and girls. Like, our people dismiss what the Lord requires, and this is the spirit of our oppressor. This is what the Christian church teaches our people, and it's why the Lord had it put in the beginning of the Bible. And I'm going to walk you through the rest of the development of the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? So he's angry. Keep going.
Verse 6. And the Lord said unto Cain,
the Lord is now speaking to Cain.
Wrong?
Hold on 1 second. You see those punctuation marks, those commas, those things, all of those mean something. That means you pause there. All right. The Lord want to pause so that you can change the mode to see what is actually going on in the scriptures. It's not just a regular book. It's a very important skill. You're doing an excellent job. And the Lord said unto Cain, Cain is upset. Now the Lord is speaking to Cain. Keep going.
Why art thou wroth?
He asking him a question. You want to read it like a question. Why art thou wroth? Like, what you angry about? What you mad about? Keep going.
And
there you go.
Why is thy countenance fallen?
This is black man talk. What you mad about? Fix your face. Why is thy countenance falling? That's black man talk. Fix your face. What you mad about? Fix your face. What you crying about? How many times a week do I hear that on the phone? How many times a week do I hear that on the phone? What are you crying about, son? Why are you crying, son? Come here, son. What are you crying about? The Lord asking Cain, what you mad about? Fix your face. What's going on? Tighten up, son. He's talking to Cain. Keep going.
If thou doest well.
If. This is conditional. If you do as well, if you're doing the right thing, keep going.
Shalt thou not be accepted?
Excellent reading. If you're doing the right thing, shalt thou not be accepted? Wouldn't I accept you if you did what was required? If you did what the order was? Adam trained these sons very well. They both knew very well what the Lord required. And the Lord knew that they knew. Cain just didn't give a damn. And that's the spirit of our oppressor. Mind you, this is the spirit. This is at the very beginning. The Lord chose Adam, and it's only dealing with Adam and his family line. The earth is filled with people. On the fifth day, the Lord created man. The earth was full of people. You understand? The earth was filled with people. Adam and Eve were not the only two people on the planet. Adam and Eve were the only two important people on the planet to the Lord. And Eve was only important because of Adam. Eve was already alive. She wasn't important until the Lord gave his son a rib. Now she is important. You understand? To the story, now they're having children. So the children are getting an education that the rest of the people on the planet are not getting, because the Lord is intending for Adam's lineage to be special, to be chosen, to have information and an education to rule and take authority over everyone and every other thing on the earth. That's why he said, I give you dominion over all the beasts of the field, the creeping things, the fowl of the air. Everything is supposed to respect you and your seed, your lineage. You understand? But of course, we broke that covenant, went on ahead, did our own thing, which started from Eve wanting to be a goddess and a diva, that the serpent, who was another man, not an actual snake, tricked her into taking the customs of the other nations of people. You understand? So now the Lord is talking to Cain. Cain is already mad that the Lord did not accept his offering. And now the Lord is asking him a question. Keep going.
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
Sin lieth at the door. If you don't do the right thing, sin is going to lie at your door. Meaning sin is at your door because it's here for you, because you're calling it. Like your food comes to your door, like the pizza comes to your door. Sin is at your door, meaning sin lives here. Sin is going to live with you because you don't do well. If you aren't doing what is accepted and what is well, sin will sit at your door. It'll love you. You will be one and the same. You'll be tight together. This is what the Lord is explaining. It's a lot, y'all. Go ahead.
And unto thee shall be his desire.
Unto thee shall be his desire. This is spiritual. Make sure that y'all remember this scripture. When we get later on in the class, make sure y'all remember this scripture. Unto sin shall be your desire. You understand? Keep going.
And thou shalt rule over him.
Meaning, thou shalt rule over him. What does it mean that thou shalt rule over him? Anybody know what that means? Give it a shot. They say, thou shalt rule over him. What does that mean? Y'all on Instagram, y'all can type in. Y'all on Facebook, Twitter, y'all can type in. What does that mean? Unto him is getting thick. All right. Unto him shall be, and unto thee, meaning to you, shall be his desire. Who is the his that the scripture is talking about? It's talking about sin. Meaning you are going to be the desire for sin. Meaning you and sin are going to work hand in hand together. And thou shalt rule over him. Meaning sin. The Lord is equating sin to a man. Sin is you are going to rule over sin. You and sin are going to be tight together. And you will rule over sin. You will be who can finish my thought? I'll be impressed. You can be the what? Don't worry about it. We'll get it later. We got to keep moving. All right. Now, all right. Take me to, let's see. Keep going.
Come. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother.
Cain talked with Abel, his brother. He was talking to his brother. You understand? And mind you, he mad. He just got checked by the Most High. The Lord is telling him you messing up, telling him to fix your face, what you mad about. You knew what you were supposed to do and you didn't do it. And if you continue like this, you're going to get worse. You understand? Keep going.
And it came to pass.
All right.
When they were in the field.
When they were where?
When they were in the field.
Very spiritual, very important. When they were in the field. It's saying in the field for a reason. Keep in mind that in the field and unto him shall be your desire. Keep those scriptures in mind. Keep going.
That Cain rose up against Abel, his
Cain
brother.
rose up against Abel. He rose up against him. He slid on it. You understand? He will be known for sin. Excellent. Whoever 15:13 is, damn right. He will be known for sin. That is very important to understand about the spirit of this man. Keep going.
And slew him.
And slew him. He killed his brother. Now, mind you, he was upset. He did the wrong thing. And now, just being told, this is the spirit of the devil that the Bible speaks of. This is the spirit of our oppressor. Him just being told what you did was wrong is too much. It's too much. Just being told you did something wrong, now they're ready to go murder. Now he's ready to kill. Now he's ready to take your life away. Not because you did something wrong, because he being called out on something wrong that he got. There's something very important that all your protests, all your friends, your family, everybody waving them stupid signs, this life matter, hands up, don't shoot, all of that nonsense. You are angering the man of sin. He doesn't care about being right. That's the spirit. He's not trying to be right. He knew what the right thing to do was, but he doesn't care. And if you call him out on it, then he'll want to get violent. You understand? That's why those Antifa, Proud Boy, all of those freedom of speech protests, they end up in knife fights and shooting and guns. Rittenhouse showed up to kill some people because this is the spirit of the oppressor. This has always been his spirit. That's why Christ said, ye are of your father, the devil. He was a murderer from the beginning. This is the beginning that Christ was talking about when you get to John 8:44. All right. But of course, if you don't know the Bible and you've been in church getting songs sung to you, you'll never have these scriptures broken down. So he murdered Abel. Mind you, this was a righteous brother. This was a just man that obeyed what the Lord said to do. He got angry for being unrighteous, and now he kills his brother. The first recorded murder in all of human history right here in the Bible. Keep going.
And the Lord said unto Cain.
The Lord came and spoke to Cain. The Lord is asking him a rhetorical question. Because the Lord, of course, knows everything. He already knew what went down. Keep going.
Where is Abel, thy brother?
He said, where's your brother? He asking him, where's your brother? Keep going.
And he said, I know not.
He said, I don't know. Keep going.
Am I my brother's keeper?
What you asking me for? Am I supposed to watch him? You understand? Like he got an attitude with the Most High because that was the spirit on him. He hates the righteous. He hates what is right according to the Lord. And he seeks to destroy what God says is right. That's why you see they changed the law to make you believe that if there's a drop of bacteria on Mars, they find life. But if you got a fetus inside of you that's growing in that black or Hispanic baby, then it's not alive and you should kill it. You understand? They got billions of dollars of aid and support for Ukraine just like that. But they cannot help the Mexicans even after they murdered millions of Mexicans and stole Texas and California, and then won't allow Mexico to export their national product, which is corn. Same way for the rest of Central America. They started civil wars. They created drug cartels to destabilize Latin America so that what Putin is fighting Ukraine about, making sure that they aren't surrounded by strong allies with America's missiles and weapons and military bases, that is exactly what America did to destroy Central and South America and the Caribbean, to make sure there were no strong allies that would choose their enemies' communism over their democracy, so that our oppressor could stand on their necks the way they do now, steal all the fruit, the gold, the oil, all from Brazil, all from Venezuela, starve the people to death, and then have a permanent underclass of people that have to flee for their lives from the trouble that they created. What Vladimir Putin is doing in Russia is exactly what America did to North, South, Central America, every nation that was not ruled by a white man. They didn't do it to Canada because Canada's ruled by white men, just like they are white men. They did it to Mexico because the Mexicans are not white men. They did it to Puerto Rico and Cuba because they are not white men. They did it to the West Indies. They're not white men. They did it to Venezuela and Colombia and Panama and Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Nicaragua and Honduras because they're not white men. You understand? This is what he understood. He was being backed into a corner, and it is biblical prophecy that this is supposed to happen. Don't pray for Russia and Ukraine. This is how we get our salvation. All of the other nations go to war. We turn back and serve the Most High. All right? So let's keep going so we can speed that up. We're at 8 o'clock. Make good time. All right? So he murdered Abel. All right? Give me verse 10.
And he said, what hast thou done?
The Lord is saying, what have you done? Keep going.
The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
And this is a very important lesson to learn. Our oppressor believes, obviously, if Cain's body was just laying out somewhere, everybody would be able to see it. But he said, the voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. Our oppressor believes that they are able to murder. And if they just cover up the body, or if time goes away, or if they can make some mass graves and just bury everything, that means that they did not murder 77 million North American Indians. That's the end of it. Slavery's over. We murdered hundreds of millions of people. Oops, we sorry. We can all root for the same baseball team now. We all together. Like, that's their spirit. That they don't think they have to pay for crimes that they commit. You understand? The Arabs understand that they will have to pay. ISIS and Al-Qaeda full well knew that they were going to die for the acts of terrorism that they were doing. The Vietnamese understood that they were going to die. The NVA, the Viet Cong army, they knew they were going to pay for what they were doing. You understand? Putin just bought in illegal vacuum bombs. Most High in Christ. Get it on. All right? Every people understands that they are going to pay for the crimes that they commit. The only people on the earth that believe that they are not supposed to pay for those crimes is this devil that the Bible speaks of. Those African warlords know full well that they're going to pay for all the people that they've eaten, all of the rapes they committed, all the war crimes, making all the child soldiers. They know they're going to pay for those crimes. Only white people believe that they don't have to pay for their crimes. And this is a trademark. This is the spirit. This is why I'm showing you here in the Bible. All right? So keep going. He thought that if the blood went into the earth, that mean that it was over. You can't find the body, so that's it. It's done. I don't know where he is, but the Lord is not like that. When you spill blood in the earth, that blood requires justice. That blood doesn't go to you. It doesn't go for a vote. That blood goes to the earth. It's a spiritual. You are not allowed to just shed blood because you want to. That blood goes to the Most High. The Lord puts blood in life. God assigns life. God assigns babies. Things don't just live because they live, because of nature. God gives life. You understand? And you are not allowed to just take life as you see fit, just for the hell of it, because you're angry. You understand? And this is what our oppressors do when they get angry. They murder. And it's important to teach your Black, Hispanic, and Native American sons and daughters that you don't get so emotional that you feel it is acceptable to take someone's life, which we have a huge problem with amongst Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is how our oppressor operates. We are not to be like them. All right? Keep going.
Verse 11. And now art thou cursed from the earth.
You are cursed from the earth. Keep going.
Which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood.
The earth has opened her mouth. It is soaked into the ground. That blood that is spilled soaked into the ground. America is stained with the blood of hundreds of millions of God's chosen people. And that blood has been crying to the earth for justice. Africa is stained with the blood of all of the slaves that they murdered and sold. The Middle East is still stained with our blood from the 70 AD destruction on to this present day that everyone murdered us to sell us and get a profit. They have blood on their hands and they are going to pay when Christ returns. That's why this World War III is coming swiftly. All right, keep going.
Thy brother's blood from thy hand.
Keep going.
When thou tillest the ground.
When you work on the ground, because remember, Cain was a tiller of the ground. That's what he did. He said, when you till the ground, keep going.
It shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
Meaning it's not going to give you her full strength. The little bit of fruits and vegetables and things that you're getting right now, that's nothing compared to what the earth can really give out. Mind you, we went into the land of Canaan. One cluster of grapes you get at the grocery store is in a little 1 pound, 1 gallon bag. They had one grape that was on a dinner plate. One grape, dinner plate about this big. Imagine one grape growing on a tree this big, about the size of two people's heads. That's how big one grape was. That is the earth giving her strength. This little bit of food and stuff, that's why they genetically modifying things to make more food grow so that they don't run out, because the earth will not give her strength. That's why they got us in the field doing slavery. We work their crops, pick their cotton, work their fields. That's why they got Isupk, the so-called Mexicans and Central Americans now picking their crops, working their fields. That's why they're getting fruit from the Dominican Republic and Guatemala, South and Central America, because the earth is not going to yield for our oppressors. Europe was known for famines. There isn't a lot of food in Europe. There was never food in Europe. They had pigs. Pigs are not food. That's why they eat these abominable things. They dig into the water and find a damn roach and cook and eat the damn roach and give it to you and say, oh, it's crabs. It's a delicacy. It's lobster. It's a delicacy. Like these are cavemen. They'll take a rock in the water and bust the rock open and slurp up the slime inside the rock and say, it's clams. It's oysters. You understand? It's scallops. It's a delicacy. These are cavemen. And this is how they became a caveman. We're reading it right here in the scriptures. So keep going.
A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
He said a fugitive. A fugitive is a criminal that is wanted. Everywhere the spirit of this man, everywhere he goes, he is a wanted criminal. So like wanted for war crimes, wanted for slavery, wanted for the mafia, wanted for embezzlement. The mafia, what is that? The Chechnyan mafia, the Russian mafia, who else? All of the European mafias, they're wanted everywhere. You understand? A fugitive, an international criminal. A vagabond is a man that does not have a home. No land on the earth belongs to our oppressor. No land belongs to them. Europe does not belong to the so-called white man. Europe does not belong to them. The native Europeans were chased out of Europe into the damn Polynesian islands, and they are the Aborigines down in Australia. They ran for their lives when these cavemen left the caves again. Europe does not belong to them. You understand? They don't understand how to operate on the earth. That's why they poison the water. They cut down all the damn trees, and then you got a bunch of health problems because there's no damn air. They dump toxic waste in the land and poison the earth. You understand? They dig and drill and remove all the natural lubrication of the planet. Now there's earthquakes every damn where because they suck all the oil out of the planet. They bust a hole in the ozone layer. They make poisonous chemicals out of everything so that it damages the ozone. That's why it's hot in the damn winter and cold in the summer. You barely get a decent winter anymore. You understand? They destroy everything. Outer space is filled with trash from all their debris. They destroy families. They destroy countries. They bankrupt nations. They steal and hoard resources to the point where no one else can survive. That's why everybody's in damn war all the time. Some white man came to Africa, stole all the rubber trees, stole all the gold, the oil, and the diamonds, and now they're running wild, killing and eating each other. Speaking French. The Lord gave every nation of people their own language and culture. The oppressor came and forced them to learn his language. That's why they're speaking English. That's why they're speaking Dutch and German and Russian and French. None of the land belongs to them. This is why the Bible is saying a fugitive and a vagabond, the only race of people on the planet that no land belongs to them, is the so-called white man. Keep going.
Come.
Got to be on it, brother. Keep going.
And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
This is Cain said to the Lord. This is Betty Shelby sitting in the courtroom crying after she murdered Terrence Crutcher when his truck broke down in the middle of the street. This is the murderer, Michael Schlager. I think that disgusting piece of, you understand, that murdered Walter Scott. Walter Scott running away. He shoots Walter Scott in the back and then go and try to throw a taser on him and say, oh, he reached for my taser. I was in fear for my life. This is Amber Geiger sitting in the courtroom crying with that Barbie doll, like the golden retriever hair, talking about, I don't know why I shot him. After she executed Botham Jean in his drawers in his apartment and then refused to offer him medical aid like she is trained to do as a police officer. This is them sitting in the courtroom after he put his knee on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes, 41 seconds. Sitting in the courtroom, I don't think I did anything wrong. It's just been so hard on me and my family. Damn whoever you murdered. It doesn't matter that I murdered somebody. Why are you doing this to me? It's so hard. This is too much. They don't care about who they've killed. It's irrelevant to them. They only care about themselves and their feeling. They don't care about whose family they destroyed. They only care about themselves. This is what black people in Ukraine are learning right now. Everybody talking, they pray for Ukraine, pray for Ukraine. Guess what? The Ukrainians are looking at you not being Ukrainian with that silly we are the world, all men are created equal nonsense. And they are saying, you are black. We are trying to save Ukrainians. You are not a Ukrainian. But I live here. But I go to school here. But we are all the same. We were just buddies last week. You all are my friends. Get to the back of the line. We are saving our people. Get it how you live. That's what they're telling black people right now in Ukraine. While you talking, pray for Ukraine, pray for Ukraine. They doing just fine. You understand? They doing just fine. For a war and only 100 people got killed, I've seen more dangerous video footage in Chicago. I've seen Chicago shootings. I've seen Philadelphia shootings. I've seen DC and Detroit and LA shootings. I've seen Atlanta shootings on camera. I've not seen any back and forth exchanges between the Russian military and the Ukrainian civilians that's all in the streets with choppers just busting at each other. I've yet to see this footage. You understand? Now, I know they had war, but as far as I'm concerned, Baltimore is a lot more dangerous than Ukraine. Chicago and Philadelphia is a lot more dangerous than Ukraine is. Ukrainians are fine. They look like they're doing all right. The world loves them. But our oppressor does not care about whose life he takes. And that is the spirit. Like the sister said, they need to be in cages. That is the only way anyone will be safe. You understand? The first recorded murder, I want y'all to feel that for a second. The murder did not happen because he did something wrong. The murder was done to him because he did what was right. And the devil did not want to do what he already knew was right. That is because he did not respect the Most High. And to this very day, our oppressor does not respect the Most High at all. You understand? Keep going.
Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth,
Keep going.
and from thy face shall I be hid.
When he says, thou hast driven me from the face of the earth, that means the face of the earth. You understand? What is the face of the earth? Who knows what that is? Y'all type it in. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you, but y'all type in, what's the face of the earth? The face of the earth is the land. The land is the face of the earth. Meaning the Lord driven him from being a regular man that lives on land to now he is going to be a cave man. And that's what the word Caucasian means. It means cave dweller. They don't come from Europe. They come from the caves of the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. You understand? Between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea off the Gulf of Aqaba. That is where the caveman, the Caucasian, comes from. That's what Caucasian means. It means cave dweller. You understand? Keep going.
And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth.
Everywhere I go, they're going to know me. Because everywhere I go, they're going to say, that's the murderer. Keep going.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Everyone that find me is going to slay me because they know I'm the murderer. They know where I go, I'm going to be the murderer. You understand? And when it says, in thy face, I shall be hid from thy face, that means the Lord has turned his back on Cain. Like the Lord is not going to help Cain. The Lord is not going to look out for Cain. You understand? Them as a people, the Lord is not with them. The Lord is against them. He has turned his favor and his back on them. That is why everywhere they go, they have to steal. So keep going. It's going to give you some more. Keep going.
And the Lord said unto him,
this was the Lord's response. Nice and loud.
Therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain,
whoever kills Cain, Keep going.
shall be taken on him sevenfold.
What shall be taken?
Shall be taken on
What?
him
What? I'm asking
sevenfold.
you, what shall be taken? I'm not hearing that word. Your sound is going out.
Vengeance.
Vengeance is going to be taken. Keep going.
And the Lord set a mark upon Cain.
The Lord did what?
Set a mark upon Cain.
The Lord put a mark on Cain. This mark was so that you can see the blood through their skin, so that you know that this is the man that sheds blood on the earth. The rest of the earth, everyone could see that there was a difference between this man and everyone else. Everyone on the earth had some color to their skin. The Lord put a mark on Cain, all right? The Lord put a mark on Cain so that everybody that saw him, they know that this is the murderer. Called the complexion for the protection. You understand? That white skin, the Lord put that on him. It's not white, it's red, but it's known today as a so-called white man. So that this man stands out, that this is the man that murders. This is who sheds blood on the earth. And if you do something to him, vengeance will be taken sevenfold. The Iraqis learned that the hard way. They thought that they could just go and deal with them the way that they do their normal warfare. They're killing, they killed some contractors and cut them up and hung their body parts from bridges. And for 20 years, everything written in the Arab language came under the full force and scrutiny of every white man's military on the planet Earth. All of Europe, all of NATO, all of the allies, every oppressor came and attacked the Arab world. The Muslim world has been under fire ever since. From Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, Al-Qaeda, Iraq, Pakistan, Iran, Ahmadinejad, Syria, everybody came under fire. Even Egypt, everybody either got killed, they got forced to step down, they overthrew their country. Everybody paid for that. From that runoff, that snowball effect of 9/11, because whosoever killeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. The Lord put this mark on Cain. Keep going.
Lest any finding him should kill him.
All right. That's what the
And
Lord
Cain,
said. All right. The water, that's all I needed there. And of course, Cain left and he lived in the land outside of the Garden of Eden. That's what happened. This is how Cain was created. He was a murderer from the beginning. Now, of course, over time, Cain dies. You have the flood. The earth is being repopulated with people again. Now we want to go to Cain. Reincarnation is in the Bible. You understand? When you die, generations later, you are born back into the earth again to new parents as a brand new baby boy or baby girl, to new parents, some of your father's relatives down the line, and then they will raise you as their child. You understand? You'll be being raised by your ancestors. They will raise you again, and you will end up raising ancestors from previous generations. You'll end up raising them. Eventually, they'll end up raising you. It's a circle and a cycle. You understand? That's how life operates. So now we're going to go to Genesis, the 25th chapter. All right. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 25 and verse 20. All right. Genesis 25 and 20. All right. Go ahead.
Come. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife.
He took Rebekah to wife. Isaac was 40 years old. He went and took him a rib. All right. 40 years old now and 40 years old then is not the same thing. Of course, they lived much longer because we weren't sinning against the Lord for centuries for him to keep cutting our lives short. So we lived much longer, just like we will live good, full, healthy lives again without all this cancer and AIDS and diabetes and gun violence and oppressors hunting and killing us and throwing us in prison, poisoning our food, water, air, and the land, will live much longer again once they are in chains and wiped off the earth. So he marries a wife, he takes him. Now give me verse 21.
And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife.
Meaning he went to go see the Lord about his wife. Keep going.
Because she was barren.
All right.
And the Lord was entreated of him.
All right.
And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
Rebekah, his wife, conceived. He had sex with Rebekah. He was able to get her pregnant. She was barren, meaning she was not able to have children. He went, dealt with it. The Lord opened her womb, so now she can have children. She conceived. Now she's pregnant. Keep going.
And the children struggled together within her.
She was having a rough pregnancy. She got 2 children inside of her, and while they are inside of her, they are struggling. They are fighting. She having a rough pregnancy. She got 2 boys, and they in there scrapping like hell. You understand? And they scrapping so much that she got to find out what the hell is going on inside of her. She can't get no rest, getting kicks and punches. You understand? The whole time we being born. Keep going.
And she said, if it be so,
meaning
why
if this is
am
the
I
Lord's will, if it be so, keep going.
Why am I thus?
Why am I thus? She's like, if it was the Lord's will that I'd be pregnant, seeing as how I couldn't get pregnant before, why is the pregnancy going like this? Got these 2 boys in here tearing her womb up, scrapping like hell. Keep going.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
She went to inquire of the Lord. Inquire of the Lord, there's a precept for that. To inquire of the Lord means to go and seek the prophet of the Lord to tell you what's going on. You don't inquire of the Lord by playing Kirk Franklin and lighting candles, start singing along, and then magically you feel the presence of God, whatever the hell that means that the Christian church teaches you. Once the music gets you high enough to think that that means God is there because you high off the music. You understand? Inquire of the Lord is a precept, all right? It means something very specific. That doesn't mean that she just went and talked to God and God just talked to her. That's not what that means, all right? I'm going to get that real quick. Inquire of the Lord. Let me see. Seer. Before time in Israel should be in Samuel. I think it's Samuel 9. Yep. Samuel chapter 9, verse 9. It says, before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of the Most High of God, thus he spake, come and let us go to the seer. So when you see the words that says, Rebekah went to inquire of the Lord, this is what it means. 1 Samuel 9 and 9, this is your precept. You should be writing this down. All right. For he, it says, when they said, I want to inquire the Lord, come and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet, before time was called a seer. It was called a seer. The Lord always gave our people the ability to see the future, to understand things different from everyone else. The Lord always had that. We had that as a people because the Lord had been making a special people since the days of Adam. This is the precept right here. So when it says Rebekah went to inquire of the Lord, she went to go and speak to a seer or a prophet to tell her why these things are going on. All right, so keep going.
Salaki, in Genesis, where are we at again, sir?
Where you were just reading that. Genesis 25 and verse 23.
Come. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations. The word nations means a race of people, meaning this is a woman that is pregnant. She's having 2 twins from the same father, And from the very beginning of us being born, before we ever came out of our mother, the Lord had intended for us to be separate. The Lord never wanted us to be one people. Even though we came from the same mother and father, the Lord had us, he had always intended for us to be separate. Two nations, two entirely separate races of people are inside of you. And we were fighting. Keep going.
And two manner of people
Two
shall be
completely
separated.
different types of people. Two different types of people. We are completely different than our oppressor. You understand? Keep going.
Shall be separated from thy bowels.
From your bowels, from the inside of you, God is already separating us. Keep going.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Our people stronger than the other people. One people shall be stronger than the other. It's very obvious. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are stronger than our oppressor. They cannot take living in our conditions. They go and set police stations on fire. America had to call out the National Guard around the country because they were not going to take being forced to be in the house, not having their mocha lattes and being able to pay their bills, not having to live off of government assistance. That made them into a murderous rage. They stormed the Capitol and took senators hostage. That's treason, sedition against the government. Black people live like that every day. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. You don't even know Native Americans still exist if you're not paying attention. People come to America, think that the Native Americans don't know anything about them, don't know that they ever lived here. Not a trace. You understand? Don't know what Thanksgiving is about. Celebrate it every year, have no idea what it's about. You understand? Like, this is what happened. Why the Lord said we are separate people. Keep going.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
The elder, the oldest son, was supposed to serve the younger because they are not supposed to be in charge. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we come from Jacob. We are supposed to be in charge and ruling everything. We did not obey the Most High. We followed the other nations, disobeyed the Most High, just like Cain disobeyed the Most High from the beginning. The Lord, of course, punished us and put the elder son in charge. They have destroyed everything. Keep going.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled.
When it's time for her to have the baby, she get ready to have the babies. Her days to be delivered are fulfilled. She's going into labor. Keep going.
Behold, there were twins in her womb.
There were twins, two boys in her womb. Keep going.
And the first came out red.
Came out red. This is the mark that the Lord put on Cain. This is Cain being reborn back into the earth. A mark that was set on Cain in Genesis. This mark, generations later, this man and his spirit is being born back into the earth, except this time he is going to be born with the mark on him. Keep going.
All over, like an hairy garment.
Like a hairy garment, like a goat covered in fur. The oppressor would be cousin it without a Gillette razor. That's why they're so big on shaving. If they stop shaving for a few days, they would turn into a fur ball. That's why they got the shaving, the waxing, the this. They are way more hairy and furry than any black, Hispanic, or Native American. They would be absolutely covered in fur like cousin it from the Addams family. You understand? If y'all old enough to remember the Addams family, some of y'all might not be. All right? But a fur ball. Keep going. The Neanderthal.
And they called his name Esau.
Esau. When he saw that baby, remember the names, all the names mean something. He saw that son, he called that baby Esau or Isha, or wasted away is he, because he looked like he was dead. He looked like that he was dead when he saw him. He didn't look like all the other babies that everybody else was having. This baby looked something different. He said, Isha. He was shocked when he saw this baby. Like, what the hell is this? You understand? Keep going.
And after that came his brother out.
And after Esau was born, his brother came. Keep going.
And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
We were still fighting, even being born. His hand grabbed Esau's heel. That is what Jacob or Yaquab means. It means to supplant. Keep going.
And his name was called Jacob.
His name was called Jacob. Keep going.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Isaac was 80. A score is 20. 3 and 20, 60 years old. Isaac was 60 years old. All right. It didn't describe how Jacob looked because Jacob looked like every other baby that was born. This one baby was so strange and how he looked coming out of his mother that it had to be noted that this ain't no regular baby. Something up with this. All right. So keep going. Let's get some more about them.
And the boys grew.
The boys are growing up. They're getting older. They're growing up. All right. The boys grew. All right.
And Esau was a cunning hunter.
Esau was a cunning hunter. Keep going.
A man of the field.
A what?
A man of the field.
A man of the field. Why did the Bible say a man of the field? That is a precept. Because where did Cain murder Abel? He rose up against his brother in the field. The Lord had that recorded that way for a specific purpose. This is a precept. You understand? Or the precept for it is when Cain murdered Abel in the field. It says in Genesis 4 and 8, Cain talked with his brother Abel, and it came to pass when they were in the field. This is Esau's spirit, to be in the field. That's why he's a hunter. You see him out hunting deer, hunting boar, hunting every goddamn thing. Bengal tigers, white rhinos, elephants. They go over to the safari to kill tigers, to kill lions, kill giraffes with a mouthful of grass, eating the vegetation. Some little white girl in the bushes with a sniper rifle killing a 500-pound elephant so she can smile and sit on top of it and extinct the whole goddamn species, because this is the spirit of Esau, a man of the field, putting deer piss on them to attract deers. They got the duck whistle. Ever heard of Duck Dynasty? Well, they make a duck whistle to attract the damn ducks. He's a hunter. All right. Keep going.
And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
Regular old brother. Plain man, playing in tents. He liked to chill. He stayed in the crib. That's what Jacob did. He around the way. When you go see Jacob, you go to Jacob's neighborhood. Jacob is not all in the woods. They ain't all hunting lions and deer. Jacob is chilling. Where you at? He around the way, chilling. They sitting out front the house. They on the porch. They sitting out front the building. They in the stairwell. Why is there 15 brothers standing at your stairwell? They out chilling. Jacob is a plain man dwelling in tents. He gonna go here and go in the building. He gonna go there. He gonna be in the building. That's the spirit of Jacob. That's our spirit. We ain't trying to be all in the woods all the time, covered in deer piss, hunting down wild boar and deer. Black man might go hunting, but ain't going hunting like Esau going hunting. Esau killing rats, squirrels, bobcats, people, birds, killing every goddamn thing. You understand? That's the spirit of Esau. All right? And the Lord put a mark on him. Keep going.
And Isaac loved Esau.
Isaac loved Esau. Isaac loved that hunter because that hunter's son would go out and kill him a deer, kill him a buck, and bring him back some meat to cook up and eat. You understand? So that's what the Bible is talking about. This is Esau here. Now, all right, this is what the Lord is talking about. So Esau is a murderer. The mark of Esau has been born again. All right. Now you got further on down. You can read the story later on. The birthright. The Lord intended for Jacob to get the birthright to inherit everything from the father, but it rightfully belonged to the firstborn. You understand? It belonged to the firstborn, but the Lord already had intended for it to go to Jacob. The Lord wanted Jacob. The Lord did not want Cain, just like the Lord wanted Abel, and the Lord did not accept Cain the same way the Lord wanted Jacob and did not accept Esau. That's why he said, in Isaac shall thy seed be born, and the Lord chose Jacob. All right, so now we're going to skip up the days of mourning. Jacob dies. All right, days. Bear with me just a moment. Bear with me just a moment. What was your question one more time?
Salakia, sir. It was James, or give me 1 second. Let me look it up again.
All right.
Con, sir. It's James chapter 4, verse 17.
All right, James 4 and 17. We're going to come there in just a minute. All right, so now we're going to go to Genesis chapter 27. The father, in that Genesis 25th verse, the boys are growing up. The father, you understand, the Most High rejected that son again. The Most High rejected Jacob. I mean, not Jacob. The Most High rejected Esau. Esau was born. I'm going to read just to get us up to time there in Genesis chapter 25 and verse 30. It said, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore his name was called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright, a hustler. Sell me something, a supplanter. That's the spirit of Jacob. That's what Yahweh means. 32, and Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright be due to me? He didn't care about his birthright, just like he didn't care about the birthright that the Most High gave to him, being Adam's sons in Genesis, the 4th chapter, when he murdered Cain. He didn't give a damn about anything about the father. He was selfish. He only cared about himself. And the mark that the Lord put on Cain is born back on Esau this time. That spirit is born back into the earth. Jacob said, sell me your birthright. Now, it comes time that the father is about to die. He gives the son the birthright. And Esau is finding that he is rejected from the father, just like Cain was rejected from the Most High in the book of Genesis chapter 4. You understand? He's being rejected. And now here we go. All right. So now we're going to go to the 27th chapter, Genesis chapter 27. We'll come to your question in just a minute. Genesis chapter 27 and verse 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, his sight is going bad, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I. And he said, behold, now I'm old. I know not the day of my death, meaning I'm going to die sometime soon. You understand? Mind you, we were not Christians. We understood that we're going to die sometime soon. We also understood that when you die, you come back. This was not some great secret or mystery, the way that the damn Christian church raises our people to think that death is the end of the world and you only live once in YOLO. So never mind how much evil and wickedness you do, because who gives a damn, you only live once. That was never our lifestyle. That's how an oppressor thinks. You're going to die and come back and pay for what you did in the previous life. If you mess something up now, it might still be messed up when you get back, and now you got to suffer for it. Whoever started selling crack in the 80s, they may have died and just been born back with a whole black community that's destroyed, that is different from what they inherited from the people that made babies in the 60s, that they had a decent place to grow up with family and black businesses and a stable society with a mother and a father in the home. They destroyed that with all the crack dealing and drug dealing. Now they're going to be born back and reap the benefits or the reward from the evil they did in the previous generations, because our people have been destroyed for decades on drugs at this point. All right. Just as an example. So now it is saying Genesis, the father is giving a birthright to Esau. Genesis, the 27th chapter. You understand? Rebecca is going to give some fur to put on Jacob, so that he can trick his father into getting the birthright of the firstborn son. You understand? All right. So now let's skip down. Of course, y'all can read that 27th chapter on your own time. Jacob pretends to be Esau, gets the birthright and the blessing. You understand? He can't see very well. Can't see at all, it says. So he's using his other senses. And now he realizes in verse 33 that it was the wrong son, because Esau comes in later. He's already given the birthright to Jacob. Now he's blessing them good. Verse 29, let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee. Blessed be he that blesseth thee. All of the blessings are going. By the time Esau comes to the father to get the blessings, in the 32nd verse, Isaac, his father, said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy firstborn, thy son, thy firstborn Esau. Verse 33, and Isaac trembled exceedingly and said, who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me? I have eaten all before thou camest, and I have blessed him. The father gave the blessing to the son that the Lord wanted. That's the same thing that happened with Abel and Cain, the 4th chapter. This is what is happening with Jacob and Esau, the 27th chapter. This is the Lord's will. All right? That's why your name is very important. That's why you come into the truth. You earn you a Hebrew name, a name that is not Jimmy or Ricky or Timmy, all of those names that we got from our oppressors. Our names actually mean something, just like they did in the Bible. Now, verse 41. Again, remember in Genesis chapter 4, Cain got very angry, rose up to kill Abel, because the father loved Abel, did not accept Cain, because Cain, what he did was wrong. The Lord had chose Jacob from the womb. Esau did not get the blessing. It went to who the Lord wanted. Verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Same as Genesis 4. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Meaning my father just died. He gonna mourn for my father. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. That is the same spirit that was on Cain in Genesis the 4th chapter, to murder his brother, because the father did not accept him. He did not get the blessing because he didn't do what was required in Genesis the 4th chapter. The Lord's purpose was born back in the earth. Mind you, Cain did not pay for what he did. The Lord had that mark born on him when he came back into the earth. This is why those precepts are matching up. Now you're seeing this man is still out to murder his brother. All right? That's why they killed us. That's why they still killing us to this very day. You understand? And the Lord separated us. So now, because we did not obey the Most High, we were supposed to rule and get the blessing. The Lord told us in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, if we did not obey him, then the Lord would punish us and give another nation our power. The nation would drive us to jealousy. That is the Edomites, Esau, and Edom, the so-called Caucasian. Now, we go to Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. The wicked rules the earth. This man is the wicked. Remember what it said in Genesis, the 4th chapter, sin will lie at the door for you. You will be the man of sin. That's why it said, all right? All right, so let's get that. Shalom, not Nazar. Okay, we're going to come to y'all 2 questions. Let's get that. All right, Rashad, give me your question. Then I'm going to come to Natazar. Okay, Shalom, boy, should break it up. Give me your question one more time. And James, let's get that.
It's James chapter 4, verse 17.
All right, James 4 and 17. All right, James chapter 4, verse 17. And what is your actual question? Is this a scripture breakdown the scripture? What is your question about the scripture?
Salakia, sir. It's just a breakdown.
Okay, no sweat. All right. So James chapter 4, verse 17. Go ahead and read it.
Come. This is the book of James chapter 4, verse 17. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin.
Him that knoweth to do good and doeth not, to him it is sin. Meaning you know what to do and you don't do it, it's sin. What does it mean to do good? Every time you see, I want y'all to get familiar with seeing words in the scripture. All of the words in the Bible have meaning. They're not just there for no reason. What does it mean to do good?
Salakia, to keep the law.
Go ahead.
Salakia, is it to keep the law?
Why would you say that?
Salakia, because we're required to keep the law.
Right. But how can you prove that? I understand that you're saying it. How can you prove it though?
Salakia, we can prove it because from Adam all the way down to God's chosen people, we all kept the law.
We did not keep the law. That's why we went into slavery. That's why we're still in captivity. We refuse to keep the law. All right.
Romans chapter 7, verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just, and good.
All right. I'll take that. There's a better one in Matthew. There's a better one in Matthew when the man came to Christ by night and called him good master. He said, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. To do good. Do good. You want a precept that says to do good? That'll be all right. To do good. Depart from evil and do good. You're not wrong. Both of you are correct. That is correct. But a scripture that shows you to do good, that doing good is keeping the law, is important to show that in the scriptures. So some Christian asks you down the line, you'll be able to show them that the Lord is equating good and evil. And said, love your enemies, to do good. All of those things are important. To do good. What does it mean? All right. Let us do good to all men, that they do good. Forget not. There's a lot of things that the Lord says to do good. Like, for example, it says, but to do good and to communicate. Forget not. Communication is something. The Lord is explaining it's important to communicate. That's why we have a chain of command. That's why we have councils. That's why we have check-ins. Your entire life is supposed to be done in order. We have a horrible problem in the Black, Hispanic, Native American community with communication. We are horrible at communication. I did a class with a sister. The sister lived with her parents her whole life. She lived with her parents and her brother in the same house, and she was not able to communicate to them that her uncle that also stayed in that same house had been molesting her for 3 years. So she put it in a letter before she killed herself. That's how horrible we are as a people with communicating. It's very spiritual, and it's important to know that doing good is not just keeping the law. You understand? It's important to understand that because there's a lot of things that the Lord says to do good. It's important to do that. All right. So to do good, if you know something, to do good and you don't do it to that man, it is sin. How will you know and be taught? Same way we went over last week in Romans, that 10th chapter. The Lord rose up prophets to tell you what is good. Just like the Lord rose up Moses to tell our people what was good. That's how you learn. You being taught what is good. What does the Lord say is good? It's a good thing to not talk to somebody else's woman. Don't be alone with her. Don't sit down and eat dinner with her. You understand? It's a good thing. You understand? Like it's a good thing to not be around sinners who want to eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. Because when the Lord kills them and you're around, Lot lost all of the wealth and inheritance he had when he lived with Abraham, because he moved to Sodom and Gomorrah and lived with sinners. He lived around very evil, wicked sinners. And when the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, everything that Lot had was also burned up in Sodom and Gomorrah. His wife died because she was more attached to Sodom and Gomorrah, too attached. She turned into a pillar of salt. She was not supposed to look back. These are just examples. All right. So does that answer your question? You need some more. Just let me know. All right, Most High in Christ. So now it said, can he get a breakdown of Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 2? Officer Natazab, Jeremiah 51 and verse 2. All right, let's get that. Isupk 2020. Just make sure you click the link, sign in for attendance. All right, so we can get you down for attendance on Instagram. All right. Just make sure you got all the attendances there, Yarash. All right. So now we'll be at Jeremiah 51 and 22. Let's take a look. Jeremiah 51. And verse 1 and 2. All right. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 1 says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon. He's raising up against Babylon. Those of you that don't know, Babylon was an ancient empire where all nations of people came together. The Lord was against it. You understand? All people coming together, being one, having one goal. The Lord was against that from the very beginning. America has rebuilt the ancient Babylonian empire, bringing all races, all nations together. They have something called the United Nations, the International Space Station. You understand? The Lord does not want all nations to come together. He is against that. He's going to bring all nations together for World War III. You understand? Right now, people are learning in Ukraine that if you are black or an African, you finding out that maybe God did not want you there in Ukraine. You thinking you're free to go and travel and be wherever the hell you want. You in China for a basketball game, and the referee called a foul on the Chinese man because everybody want to see a 7-foot black man throw a basketball across the earth. And now it's a whole goddamn town of Chinese calling you, nigga, go back to China. Get out of China. They saying that to you because they don't want you there. Just because you are the entertainment doesn't mean that you are welcome. That doesn't mean that you are one of us, because you dance for us and you throw a football and you box for me and you sing for me and you dance at my halftime show at the football game. That doesn't mean that you are one of them. You understand? But our people are so desperate for the slightest drop of kindness from all of the hell that we suffer at the hands of our oppressors in his empire that you will be desperate and willing to give your entire soul just for a drop of kindness. You understand? And that the Lord wants to stop. So it says he's going to raise up against Babylon, against America, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me. A destroying wind. A wind is going to rise up and destroy them. It's talking, you understand? Let's get some more. And I will send unto Babylon fanners, a fanner that shall fan her and shall empty her land. Meaning the Lord is going to send other people to fan this wind. You got a wind that's blowing, and then there's somebody that's fanning, spiritually fanning, to make more wind, to make the wind blow bigger, to do more destruction. You understand? If you ever hear weathercasters talk about tornadoes, they say we got winds coming in from the southeast. We got a cold front coming, and when it meets the Pacific air coming in from the north and from the southeast, it's going to create a funnel, and you're in the danger zone for the eye of the storm, and the hurricane this is going to touch ground. Well, the Lord is saying he's sending fanners to make a bigger and bigger storm to do as much destruction as possible against Babylon. The empire of Babylon itself, the Babylonian Empire, Jeremiah was in the Babylonian customs from the Babylonians as well. That's why in Jeremiah the 10th chapter, it talks about that Christmas tree, which has nothing to do with Christ. It is the tree for the Nimrod, from the Babylonian king, Nimrod. Jeremiah was in there. You understand? Jeremiah prophesied about it. The Lord has always been against that tree that all you Christians put up for Christmas that God said not to do back in the days of Jeremiah, long before Christ was born or Christmas was even created. It was for the Babylonian king Nimrod. Very ancient, very old custom that the Lord told us never to do. It says, that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For the day of trouble, they shall be against her round about. More people are going to be against her. So when it says, in the midst of them, and against them that dwell in the midst of them. So you're in Babylon, and then you got them that dwell in the midst of Babylon. What is Babylon? All nations live in Babylon. The Chinese are in America. The Russians are in America. The Greeks are in America. The Koreans are in America. Everybody is in America, where the Lord never wanted all nations to come together. Everyone is piled in America. That is against God. That is why Christ said in Matthew, the 24th chapter, there's going to be wars against kingdom. That's Russia versus Ukraine. That's America versus Russia, China and Taiwan, China and America, Turkey, Saudi Arabia. All of this prophesied in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, Joel, the 3rd chapter, that whole chapter there. Also, this is more destruction coming to all of the nations. This is what it's talking about there in the Bible. All right. So it's saying fanners. All right, to be against her. It says they're in the midst of her. So they're in the midst of them that rise up against me. A destroying wind is destruction coming to all the nations. Destruction coming to Babylon, just like it says in Revelation. All the nations that have committed fornication with her, they doing business, they doing deals, they doing trades, they getting rich off America. They got shops, they doing selling and trading. That's how they're able to shut down Russia's banks, because Russia is doing trading across the world. You understand? So it says, for in the day of trouble, they shall be against her round about, against him that bendeth, the archer, bend his bow, and against him that letteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men. Destroy ye utterly her host. Her host is her army. You understand? And the slain, the brigandine. You look up that word brigandine. If I'm not mistaken, that is where that word comes from. It's an army word. It's a rank in the army called a brigadier general. You understand? Let's see if that's the same word. We're going to look that up. We're going a little bit over the time. All right, let's get that Webster's dictionary. Get that Webster's dictionary and look up the brigandine. This is warfare is talking about in the Bible. You understand? Brigandine, he just got fanned out in the drill music. Let's get that. Look up in that Webster's dictionary. Let's get that. All right. Brigadine, B-R-I-G. Brigadine. There it is. Brigandine. Let's get that. What is a brigadine? Brigadine is a medieval body armor of scales or plates. This is talking about warfare. Your soldiers with the dragon's breath armor and all of your body armor, your level 1, your level 2, your 500 grade steel armors, your chest plates, your breastplates, your bulletproof this, your Teflon that. Get all your armor on because war is getting ready to break out. That's what Jeremiah is talking about. So when it says, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. You got archers, he got archers, everybody shoot. And against him that lifteth himself up in his brigadine, he lifted himself up with his armor on. Spare ye not her young men. Let all your young men come up to that warfare to get ready to die. Let them come up to that endless war with China and Korea and Turkey and Saudi Arabia and Russia, that endless open the keys to the bottomless pit of World War III, where it seemed like endless death, blood so high up to a horse's mouth. That's what it's talking about. If you ever ridden on a horse before, if you on top of the horse, you probably 8 feet or so up in the air, 7 feet in the air, 6, 7 feet in the air on top of a horse, depending on how big your horse is. Well, the Lord said, Christ said, the blood is going to be up to the horse's bridle. So blood this high up in the horse's face, that much blood is going to be spilled on the earth. That's what it's talking about, the return of Christ. Prepare yourself spiritually. It may not seem like it matters, but prepare your spirit to stop eating pork, stop eating crab, stop sinning against the Lord. Prepare your spirit to line up with what's actually God said in the Bible. You understand? These times leading to the return of Christ are going to be the absolute worst times ever in human history. Worse than World War I, worse than World War II, worse than Vietnam and the Civil War, worse than the Korean War. And then Christ is going to return to make it worse. You understand? Prepare your spirit. Come get in this body. Don't play games. You get in here. Ton of brothers and sisters get in here playing games, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You mess around and keep celebrating these Christmases and Thanksgiving after the Lord call you in here to sit in these classes and you don't follow the orders that the Lord laid down through his prophets. You mess around, go back in the world, celebrate some Christmas and get gunned down at a damn birthday party in Chuck E. Cheese. Mess around and go back into the world and sit at somebody's birthday party eating the crab legs for the Lord to stop your heart. Mess around and go back to smoking weed so that you can end up taking some pills or some Percocets and you'll end up with some fentanyl in your weed and you'll drop dead of a heart attack. Do not go back into the world. This world is about to end, not the earth, not the planet. If you are attached to this society and you love America and you are not spiritually being in here to be trained, to have your spirit in the correct mind frame for what the Lord is getting ready to send, which is our salvation, you are going to feel horrible about what's happening. This is how we get salvation. You understand? We ain't praying for peace. Christ is not coming with peace. What they being taught in the Christian church is not real. That ain't Jesus. Jesus is coming with bloodshed and to shed more blood. 200 million of the armies that are in heaven, they're going to destroy everything. All of the world governments, all of their militaries, all of their empires, all of their capital cities, all of the United States. 200 million angels in 1 hour. Every world's military system is going to be wiped out by Christ and the angels in 1 hour when he returns. After World War III has already started, nuclear war has already started, civil war has already started, and race war has already started breaking out everywhere. You understand? It's very important that you take seriously serving the Lord so that the Lord's protection will be on you. It's getting ready to really matter. Our people didn't think it mattered before because there wasn't enough bodies in the streets. It's going to be bodies in every street. You understand? That's what's coming. All right? But you in here, you serving the Lord, this is how we get salvation. The scriptures say the third part will be brought through the fire. You understand? Every generation before this last few decades was raised in a massive war. The Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, every generation was raised in that. All of that feminism, I don't need a man, I'm woman, hear me roar, that's a luxury after men have built a society where you have a 911, an emergency system, a government, a court, all that defund the police nonsense. When they're not paying the police to police the cities, they're going to double back in your neighborhood because they know you are the one without a man. They know you are the one all on the internet and Facebook out of all the females the Lord created that thinks you don't need the man of your species. And whatever they want, they're going to be able to easily come and take from you. And your feminine sons that you raised to get their nails painted and dye their hair pink and wear dresses and stuff, they're not going to be able to protect you. You better get in the Isupk with the men that the Lord set up. Time is running short. And there's no sidelines in this. You being black is a crime. You being Hispanic or Native American, it is a fully punishable crime. Just seeing you is a crime. Ask them Hispanic babies in dog cages. It's a crime to be Hispanic to America. It's a crime to be black to America. And if the Lord's protection is not on you, you're rolling the dice. You understand? All right, brother, let me know if that answers your question. All right, we up over the time. And Officer Nantazal, let me know if that answers your question there. All right. If not, we'll get the rest of it next week. Just go ahead and type it in. All right, so we up over the time. All right, so we are the Isupk. We started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Room for new brother and sister. The brother and sister comes into the school. They're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to learn and shed themselves of the world. That's a very important time. Commit yourself into this body, into the work of the Lord. Stand with the Lord. Stand with the Most High. It's getting ready to come the time when the Lord is going to stand with you because you have stood for him. And that's going to be very important. Christians don't understand what that means. They're getting ready to find out. There's going to be a lot more Dylan Roof showing up in churches. You understand? All right? So, and Kyle Rittenhouse's too. You understand? So this is what the Lord is talking about. We're going to pick this up next week. Who Esau is in the Bible. Just make sure y'all remember. We're going to pick it up next week. All right. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite groups. They're not in the Isupk. You nor them are in the truth. In the truth means to be in the Isupk. All right. Tithes is a commandment from the Most High. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives to you, you give to the school. Give to Commanding General Yohana. You go right, isupk.com. The priest always collected the tithes. For all you simple Christians and fake Israelites that say the tithes is not money, well, send in your damn corn and your broccoli and your carrots, which you're not going to do anyway because you're a greedy bastard that only cares about yourself. Just like Michael Jordan, who spent $650 million on a damn a rare Mercedes-Benz, while all of Chicago slits its throat in poverty trying to survive. He go buy a $650 million car, not a jet, a car, because of course he's rich and doesn't give a damn about black people. He does what he wants. He's grown. He's probably got a personal relationship with Jesus, which means the rest of us are just suffer and die. And what the hell? All right. So that's there. Go right to isupk.com. Pay your tithes and send a receipt right there. You understand? All right. If a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they're to seek counsel from the head to speak to a brother and sister. You go and notify your camp leader. You want to speak to a brother and sister, find out if they're available. They'll get back to you to speak with their camp leader. That is the process. That is how things are done. So many relationship and marriage problems with Israel all the time. All on Kevin Samuel's channel. Everybody repeating what they've heard the Isupk say for decades. Now hearing it from other people without us saying it, everybody realizing that we was right the whole damn time, and they should have just listened to us back in the 60s like the Lord said. All right? Okay? And upcoming high holy days, we have the Passover coming up on April 15th, Cocoa Beach, Florida. Get your flights, get your tickets, your hotels, pay your Passover fee, $200 every adult over 17 years old. They got a children's party for the Passover, Hebrew Academy graduation, the slaughter of the lambs, the general's boating trip. The fishing trip is already filled up on Tuesday. You got the fish fry, Hebrew Academy graduation on Thursday, Passover Friday, Feast of Unleavened Bread Saturday, a packed week. Make sure you book your hotels, your Airbnb, pay your Passover fees, send in your $200, all right? All right, you need to link, contact the school in your area. If you are in another city or state, we have Isupk schools all over the planet, all up and down Central and South America, all throughout the Caribbean, from Canada, all over the United States. At the end of all of our Isupk camp speakings, there is a laundry list of all of the schools on isupk.com. There's a long list of all the Isupk locations where we have classes, where we have speakings. Get in contact with the school in your area or the school closest to you. Don't just sit and like videos on the internet or watch classes. Get into the body. Get in the body. You understand? Get all the way in. Don't sit on the outside. On the outside, you on your own. Don't be on your own in this day. All right? Get all the way in. Lock in. Because that's where the protection is. And you are very going to need that protection. All right? And lastly, if any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, they have to wear all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, war scarf. Do not let your mommy, your woman, your wife, your kids, your mom, your parole officer, your job, your girlfriend, your baby mama, don't let anyone stop you from standing with the Lord. Because when the Lord sends the death angel through in World War III and all of the bloodshed Christ talked about in Matthew the 24th chapter, you having not stood for Christ, the Lord will not stand for you when you end up at that traffic stop with Officer Killer Brother. The Lord will not be with you. It's like he was not with so many other brothers and sisters. And now you are hearing it from a prophet of the Lord. Don't play with that. The Lord call you in here. Get all the way in here. You a sister, cover your head. Pay your tithes. Get all the way in here. Now is the time to change. Life and death is around the corner. Very, very quick. 911 is going to be shut off. Gas stations are going to be empty. When there's world war, they're going to need all of the oil and fuel to send to the fighter jets and strike carrier groups to go all over the world. Won't be gas for you at the gas station. Grocery stores get empty. Won't be chicken wings and Takis and potato chips and baby wipes. Won't be none of that in the gas station. You're going to need a nation and brotherhood and sisterhood. You go and trust Christians and Muslims if you want in a disaster and ask them what happened in that Superdome after Hurricane Katrina. Find out what happens when you depend on your life for Christians who all have personal salvation with Jesus and believe however they want. Find out when your kids are in desperate need of protection and you are in the care of Christians. You better get in here like your life depends on it. Do not wait. We cannot stress it enough. We've been saying it since the 60s. The prophecies are coming true. All right. And lastly, all right. And with that, make sure y'all check the channel. Hit the thumb up, like, share, subscribe. Check out The Bible is Black, all our series on Isupk Virginia. No Cowards Richmond. Our next class will be coming up on Friday. Hebrew language class. Learn the Hebrew language. Learn your language. Read, write, speak your alphabet. Tune into the Sabbath service on Saturday when you see the application of the Hebrew language. It is very important. All right. And with that, we're going to do one courtesy salute to the brothers. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Barakathum. To the sisters, Yahweh Shamor Alathan Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Yahweh class dismissed. All right. Shalom.